Therefore, the Social Revolution Alliance has to work hard throughout the country. No doubt, there can be a coordination between the leaders of the social organization and the leaders of the political parties, but they should not be mixed up with each others as it happened in case of Bamsep and the Bahujan Samaj Party. Because political power, a question may raise that who has decided the goal of social organization? The reply to this question is that our heroes like Periyar Ramaswamy, Mahatma Phule, Dr. Ambedkar, and other saints and gurus have fixed this goal, and therefore is binding upon us, like the rulings of the courts and high courts are binding upon the lower courts. For this purpose, the social organization has to put it ahead. It has to work like the roots of a tree so that the tree can bear the fruits. Without social work, nothing can be achieved and can last long. Jai Bharat.
Finally, one from
இங்க வரலையே.
பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கீங்க வந்துடும் ஓப்பன் ஆயிட்டு.
Vanakkam. At a time when there is a greater challenge to the very concept of social justice, our honorable leader and Chief Minister of Tamilnadu has taken the initiative to forge all like-minded leaders and associations and conducting a national conference under the banner of All India Federation for Social Justice, for which we express our sincere thanks. Tamilnadu, as everyone will know and acknowledge, is the forerunner in spearheading a movement for social justice. The Dravidian movement had more than 100 years history in upholding the torch of social justice taken forward by selfless leaders and primarily by Tandai Periyar, the greatest social revolutionary, starting the self-respect movement. The baton was taken forward by leaders including Kamaraja, great Aringer Anna, and Dr. Kalaignar M. Karunanidhi. Today, the torch is kept atop by our leader and hero of social justice, Sri M.K. Stalin. Within a short span of time, the government led by this great leader has taken enormous steps towards social justice. Free bus travel for women, free breakfast scheme for children studying in the elementary schools, health care at doorstep, ₹1,000 every month to nearly 1 crore women, to mention a few. Under the Pudumai Pen scheme of providing ₹1,000 scholarship every month for girl students from deprived sections from last year had an impact of 29% increase of girl students joining the schools. In order to ensure that reservation policy of 16% adopted in Tamil Nadu is rightly implemented, Honorable Chief Minister initiated a move of constituting a social justice monitoring committee, first of its kind in India. It is quite incidental and heartening that I am also included as a member of this committee. It is also worth mentioning, in the recent budget of 2023-24 presented last week, Tamil Nadu government has earmarked a sum of ₹1,560 crores for the welfare of backward classes. This is totally in contrast with the Union government's allocation of ₹1,970 crores roughly for the backward classes in the earlier budget. Be it NEET or national education policy, Tamil Nadu is opposing the schemes as it totally denies social justice. Having said this, from our AIOBC Employees Federation, we would like to project some of the important issues. Number one, the decision of the present union government to privatize the public sector undertakings will affect not only the economic development, but also totally the concept of social justice. Hence, this has to be halted at any cost. Number two, there is an urgent need to have a data of various communities, and hence a caste census has to be undertaken by the union government, because the caste census comes under the purview of the union government. Then three, removal of creamy layer concept, which is totally unconstitutional. And even the government has not revised the ₹8 lakhs annual income, which was fixed in 2017, even in 2023 also. Legal pundits opine that after the passing of 102 and 105 constitutional amendment together, having inserted articles 343A, 366 26C subclass and 338B, the backward classes can no longer be categorized under the creamy layer concept. Hence, it has to be removed, and I request our distinguished leaders to kindly ponder over this important issue. The ceiling of 50% reservation imposed by Indira Jani judgment has already been breached by 103 constitutional amendment by providing 10% reservation to EWS. Even the Supreme Court of India, by its judgment dated 7th November 2022, has upheld this breach of 50% ceiling, and hence the backward classes has to be given 52% reservation as per Mandal Commission report. Even after 75 years of independence, still the backward classes, SCs, STs could not get their due participation in the decision-making process. Recent data in 12 public sector banks at the top position of chief general managers, OBCs, SCs and STs are just 8%. In general manager post, they are only 12%. In Group A post, OBCs are just 22%. Recently, Union Law Minister replied in Parliament that among the 569 judges in high courts, BC, SC, ST and minorities are only 18%. All this data shows that there is a need to provide reservation promotion also up to the top level. The year-long celebration of the great Vaikam struggle has been started by our Honorable Chief Minister along with Kerala Chief Minister. His rich message at the inaugural function at Vaikam to retrieve legacy of Periyar and defined the philosophy of Periyarism, where self-respect, rationalism, humanism, non-discrimination based on blood or gender, self-development, women's empowerment, social justice, secular politics, and scientific temper needs to be taken forward to the next generation to protect social justice. The struggle for social justice has been going on for thousands of years, but in a democratic society, it need not and cannot continue. We once again thank the organizers, and in particular respected Honorable Chief Minister for the tremendous efforts that is put by him and the government in protecting and promoting justice for all. We thank the organizers for giving our AIOBC Employees Federation, having nearly 50 OBC associations from central government and public sectors, also an opportunity to share our views in this August conference. Thank you. I am G. Karunanidhi, General Secretary, AIOBC Employees Federation.
Honorable President, distinguished guests, brothers and sisters. On behalf of All India Forward Bloc, the party founded by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and nurtured by Pasumban Muthuramalinga Thevar, I congratulate Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam and its leader Sri M.K. Stalin for organizing this event under the banner of All India Federation for Social Justice to discuss a burning issue confronting our nation today. And indeed, it is an opportunity for the political force of our country, the political forces of our country to come together to discuss about how the ruling clique of our country is sabotaging the constitutional values enshrined very clearly in the preamble of our constitution. Our constitution says that our country is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. So when democracy is being negated, both in the parliament and the outside, and the media persons, about 200 media persons are still in jail for writing against the government deeds or the policies of the government. When the opposition leaders are speaking in the parliament, it is being removed from the records of the parliament, and criticizing the government, they are being targeted by the inquiry agencies. The fascism is a drawing energy on the tickets of parliamentary system. So, is a communal majority of our country is outnumbering the political majority of our nation. So, it is a very unfortunate situation is being developed in our country. Our constitution ensures that justice for economic, social, and political. But the discrimination is still there on the basis of caste, creed, religion, and even from the locality and the colors of skin, and how we can say that there is a justice when the entire natural and national assets have been privatized by the government. How we can say that there is equal opportunities, how we can say that the basic principles of our reservation can be ensured when 103rd amendments of our constitution, which negates the entire principles of the reservation. Nobody has objected in the parliament. Very few voices have been heard in the parliament. So reservation is not for a program for eradication of poverty. It has to ensure that opportunity for it has to uplift the people who are socially and educationally backward. So that basic principle has been sabotaged in the parliament through this 103rd amendment of the constitution. So the time has come that a proper movement is needed for ensuring the social justice and ensuring the values which are enshrined in the constitution of our country. So this initiative of DMK and this Federation for Social Justice is an opportunity to discuss and to draw some program, some political program to protect our constitution, to protect the values of our democracy, to protect the secular character of our nation, and to protect the rights of the one. Because when there is a rampant privatization, there is no principles of reservation will be followed there. Whether it is right from civil aviation to ordnance factories, now rampant privatization is taking place. There is no scope for further reservation in this government sector or any public sector. So the equal opportunity for youngsters has been also. So this is the time to start to streamline our movement for education for all, employment for all, and health facilities for all, and to save our nation from the clutches of these communal divisive forces. So this initiative taken by DMK and this federation for provide an opportunity for the like-minded political forces, social forces to discuss about this vital issue. And All India Forward Bloc, the party founded by Subhash Chandra Bose, will remain with this movement. And finally, I would like to mention here that this is the centenary year of Vaikam Satyagraha, the first untouchability, the movement against untouchability started in Kerala, where Tandai Periyar, V. Ramaswamy Naikar was part and parcel of that movement. And this is a right opportunity to start or streamline or strengthen this movement. And it is also to be mentioned here, it's very imperative to mention here that it is Pashuman Muthuramalingam who led the movement for who has the engine for entering the people from the lower community for the entry of Madurai Meenakshi temple. So that is also a historical moment. So the party of Pashuman Muthuramalingam the Forward Bloc, will remain with this movement, and we will leave no stone unturned to strengthen the movement for social. Thank you very much once again for the organizers, and definitely we will remain with you. And thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Mr. Vaman Meshram, the National President BAMSIF, to deliver his address.
अब मैं BAMSIF के राष्ट्रीय पूर्व अध्यक्ष श्री वामन मेश्राम से सभा को संबोधित करने का अनुरोध करती हूं।
साथियों, सोशल जस्टिस मूवमेंट के बैनर के द्वारा एक ऑल इंडिया का प्रोग्राम आज होने जा रहा है। ये करने का काम तमिलनाडु के चीफ मिनिस्टर स्टालिन जी के द्वारा किया जा रहा है। इसके लिए मैं सबसे पहले उनको इस काम के लिए धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करता हूँ। दूसरी महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि भारत का जो बनाया गया ढांचा है, जिसमें बहुसंख्यक लोग वर्णा सिस्टम के नीचे शूद्र, अनटचेबल, आदिवासी, नॉमिडिक टाइप ऐसे लोग हैं। इन लोगों को केवल सोशल जस्टिस की ही जरूरत नहीं है, बल्कि डेमोक्रेटिक सेटअप में जो 4 पिलर सिस्टम है, पहला है विधायिका, दूसरा है कार्यपालिका, तीसरा है न्यायपालिका, चौथा है मीडिया। ये जो 4 पिलर डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम है उसमें इन लोगों को रियल रिप्रेजेंटेशन की जरूरत है। आज इन लोगों को नॉमिनेटेड रिप्रेजेंटेशन मिला हुआ है। नॉमिनेटेड रिप्रेजेंटेशन से सोशल जस्टिस होने वाला नहीं है। पहली बात तो ये हमको समझना होगा, क्योंकि सोशल जस्टिस का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो बैकवर्ड क्लास का रिजर्वेशन जब लागू किया गया तो ये सामाजिक न्याय की बात है, ऐसा विश्वनाथ प्रताप सिंह के द्वारा कहा गया। मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि अगर ये बात है कि रिजर्वेशन को ही सोशल जस्टिस कहा गया तो रिजर्वेशन से हमारी SC ST OBC इन लोगों को सोशल चेंज की जरूरत है। भारत में सोशल जस्टिस से भी ज्यादा सोशल चेंज की जरूरत है, जो जातीय वर्ण व्यवस्था और जाति व्यवस्था के आधार पर, अस्पृश्यता के आधार पर, आदिवासियों को सेग्रीगेट करने के आधार पर, महिलाओं को दास बनाने के आधार पर, घुमंतु जातियों को बहिष्कृत करने के आधार पर अधिकार वंचित की गई है, उनको केवल सोशल जस्टिस करने से समस्या का समाधान होने वाला नहीं है। सोशल चेंज किए बगैर इन लोगों की मौलिक समस्याओं का समाधान हो नहीं सकता। सवाल है फिर ये सोशल चेंज कैसे होगा जब तक SC ST OBC माइनॉरिटी के लोग अपने बल पर अपना संगठन निर्माण नहीं करते और अपनी संगठित शक्ति का निर्माण नहीं करते, तब तक ये सोशल चेंज होने वाला नहीं है। तमिलनाडु में पेरियार रामस्वामी जी के द्वारा जो सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट मूवमेंट चलाई गई थी वो इंडिपेंडेंट मूवमेंट थी, और वो इंडिपेंडेंट मूवमेंट चलाने की वजह से ही आज DMK जो बैकवर्ड क्लासेस का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है उनको पावर में केवल हिस्सेदारी नहीं मिली है बल्कि पावर पर कंट्रोल करने का मौका मिला है। ये बहुत बड़ा चेंज है। इस तरह का चेंज केवल तमिलनाडु में करने से समस्या का समाधान नहीं होगा। ये चेंज सारे देश भर में होना जरूरी है और सारे देश भर संगठित शक्ति होना जरूरी है। इस संगठित शक्ति के बल पर सोशल चेंज किया जा सकता है। केवल सोशल जस्टिस से हमारी समस्याओं का समाधान होने वाला नहीं है। हमें सोशल चेंज करने की जरूरत है और सोशल चेंज करने के लिए हमें अपनी खुद की संगठित शक्ति का निर्माण करना होगा, और वो करने के लिए अगर स्टालिन जी पहल करते हैं तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, उनको ये करना चाहिए। मुझे इस काम में हम लोग उनको साथ सहयोग करेंगे और वो ऑल इंडिया में अगर इसमें पहल करते हैं तो निश्चित रूप से इसका राष्ट्रव्यापी असर होगा। ऐसा करना जरूरी है। मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ स्टालिन जी इसके लिए पहल करेंगे। आपने मेरी बात ध्यान से सुनी, इसके लिए आभार, धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. I now invite Mr. B.D. Borkar, former President of People's Party of India Democratic, to deliver his address.
अब मैं पीपल्स पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया के पूर्व अध्यक्ष श्री BD बोरकर से सभा को संबोधित करने का अनुरोध करती हूँ।
Respected Honorable Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Honorable Justice Ishwaraya, Honorable Justice Yadav, Mr. Wilson, Member Parliament Rajya Sabha, other dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I am extremely thankful to the organizers and especially Justice Ishwaraya having given me an opportunity to put forth my views in this conference. I am presenting my views on behalf of my party, the People's Party of India Democratic. Our party is a nascent 4 years old, but an all India party having offices in about 12 states and working under the fully Ambedkarite ideology, which is nothing but the constitutional ideology. The nation should be governed by the constitution, which is a collective will and resolve of the people of this country that we shall provide justice, social, economic and political, and of course, equality of opportunity and status and liberty of thoughts and expression. We, the Mool Nivasi, Bahujan, still stand by that solemn resolution in the Constituent Assembly. But the so-called Savarnas have disowned that resolution and gone back to make this country a Hindu Rashtra, against which Dr. Ambedkar has cautioned. He said, and I quote, if Hindu Raj does become a fact, it will no doubt, be the greatest calamity for this country. No matter what the Hindus say, Hinduism is menace to liberty, equality, and fraternity. On that count, it is incompatible with democracy. Hindu Raj must be prevented at any cost. When we, through our constitution, resolve to provide justice, it means distributive justice. It also means the resources of the nation should be equitably distributed to the peoples of this nation. How can it be done without collection of data of a different caste through census? This is the popular demand of the Mool Nivasi Bahujan Samaj, which constitutes 90% population of this country. Only a handful of Brahminical forces who have disowned the solemn resolution adopted by the constitution are opposing the popular demand of caste census. What more can be expected from these creatures? They are the selfish lot who do not want to share the resources of the state because they will be losers and will not be allowed to amass the wealth of the nation. Whom to blame and from whom to demand the caste census? We are demanding it from those who are determined not to do it. They have filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court to that effect. We also cannot expect from the Supreme Court, because their kith and kin are sitting in the Supreme Court, to protect their class interests. Dr. Ambedkar, in the preface of his book, Who Were the Shudras, OBCs, and How Have They Come to be Fourth Varna in the Indo-Aryan Society, said, when someone has a courage to raise his voice against the so-called sacred books of Hindus, eminent Hindus who could be expected to have no interest and to have free and open mind becomes partisan and join the outcry. Even Hindu judges of the high courts and the prime ministers of Indian states do not hesitate to join their kind. In such a situation, what we have in our hand to get the census carried. Leave aside the justice, the distributive justice. Dr. Ambedkar was aware that such a situation shall come despite the provisions made in the constitution. While exhorting his lieutenants, he said, the rights which I have provided in the constitution, that will be for a limited period. When these rights vanish, what we shall have to depend upon is our organization, our unity, and our strength. Do we have any strength? Do we have any power? Having 90% population numerically, how can we say we have no strength? We have no power. We have power, not in our hands, but on the fingertips of our hand, which Dr. Ambedkar laboriously earned for us from British in 1930 and incorporated in our constitution through Article 326 of the Constitution. What have we done with it? We have given this power in the hands of our enemies for the last 72 years and even continue to hope that they will use this power for our rights, for our betterment. I feel we are leading a life of illusion. Sooner we realize it is better for us, we must use that power and dethrone our enemy and capture the political power and use that power for our rights, for our betterment. Another important point is that if we have to fight RSS and its cohort, then we have to understand one thing. In this book itself, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar proved that we are not the Shudras of Indo-Aryan society. That is why in the title of the book itself, he said, how have they come to be fourth Varna of Indo-Aryan society? It means that the OBCs who are identified by Brahminical social order as the Shudras are not the Shudras of Indo-Aryan society, and by corollary are not the Hindus which RSS claims them to be. We are different people, the original inhabitants, Mool Nivasi of this land. This awakening is required on large scale among OBC. Unless we distinguish ourselves from the Hindus of RSS, which are only Savarnas, we cannot fight them. There is no point to beat around the bush. To conclude, we have to fight RSS, BJP, not only politically by constitutional means, but socially by sociological means. Jai Bhim, Jai Mool Nivasi, Jai Samvidhan, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Dr. Lakshman Yadav, Professor, Delhi University, to deliver his address.
जोहार इंकलाब जिंदाबाद। दोस्तों, आज हम लोग जिस वजह से दिल्ली में इकट्ठा हुए हैं, ये बहुत जरूरी वजह है। बाबा साहब डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर ने संविधान सभा की आखिरी बैठकों में एक बात कही थी कि ये राष्ट्र अभी है नहीं, भारत एक राष्ट्र है नहीं, भारत को राष्ट्र बनना है। इस राष्ट्र बनने में कुछ बहुत गंभीर चुनौतियां हैं। अगर हमें इस मुल्क से मोहब्बत है, अगर हम भारत के संविधान को चाहते हैं, हम सबका भारत बनाना चाहते हैं, तो हम उन चुनौतियों को पहचानेंगे, उन चुनौतियों से लड़ेंगे और सबका भारत बनाएंगे। जिन लोगों का जमावड़ा आज दिल्ली में हुआ है, ये सारे वैसे ही लोग हैं जो आइडिया ऑफ इंडिया से मोहब्बत करते हैं, भारत के संविधान को जहन में रखते हैं और ये बात समझते हैं कि इस देश में सबसे ज्यादा गैर बराबरी, अन्याय जाति के नाम पर हुई है और जब तक इस देश में जाति का खात्मा नहीं होगा या जाति के नाम पर समानता वाला भारत नहीं बनेगा, आइडिया ऑफ इंडिया अधूरा है। इसलिए हम सामाजिक न्याय के मानने वाले लोग, बिरसा, फूले, अंबेडकर, पेरियार, अब्दुल कयूम अंसारी, भगत सिंह को मानने वाले लोग, मंडलोकांशी राम को मानने वाले लोग, इस देश के मोहब्बत करने वाले लोग आज यहाँ पर इकट्ठे की लड़ाई जरूरी है। ईवीएम से लेकर के तमाम तरह के संस्थानिक हत्याओं को हमें रोकना होगा, हमें जातिवाद को खत्म करना होगा, हमें सामाजिक न्याय, आर्थिक न्याय, लैंगिक न्याय की लड़ाई को आगे ले चलना होगा। इसलिए मेरा पैगाम इस मुल्क के आम आवाम से है, आइए, हमने भारत के संविधान और मंडल कमीशन का लाभ लिया है, हमने बिरसा, फूले, अंबेडकर, पेरियार, भगत सिंह, अब्दुल कयूम अंसारी, सावित्रीबाई, फातिमा, शेख का लाभ लिया है, उनके कुर्बानी और संघर्षों का लाभ लिया है। इसलिए जिम्मेदारी हमारी है कि उनकी कुर्बानी से जो हासिल है उसे बर्बाद होने से बचाएं। खेत बचेगा तो हम आपस के झगड़े से निपट लेंगे कि किसके हिस्से की कितनी फसल। अगर खेत ही लुट गया, बर्बाद हो गया, तो बंटवारे की लड़ाई किस नाम पर होगी। मुल्क के 90% कमेरा लोगों, आइए मिल करके सामाजिक न्याय की लड़ाई को, जाति जनगणना की लड़ाई को, मंडल कमीशन के सिफारिशों के लागू कराने की लड़ाई को, शिक्षा के बचाने की लड़ाई को, भूमि सुधार की लड़ाई को, संसाधनों के बराबर के वितरण की लड़ाई को आगे ले चलें। और राष्ट्रभक्त हम हैं, राष्ट्र को बनाने का काम हमारे मुल्क के पुरखों ने किया है, इसलिए राष्ट्र को बचाने का काम हम करेंगे। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। जय भीम, जय मंडल, संविधान जिंदाबाद, उल गुलान जिंदाबाद, इंकलाब जिंदाबाद।
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Anil Jaihind, the convener of the Samvidhan Bachao Sangharsh Samiti, to deliver his address.
Of the rich and upper class people of our country rule our country. Oxfam report reveals that there are 166 billionaires in our country, like Ambanis and Adanis, and top 1% of India's super rich own more than 40% of India's wealth, and top 10% own more than 2/3 of India's wealth, while bottom 50% own just 3% of India's wealth. So it is not a rocket science who are these super rich and who are the bottom poor. Without caste census, we all know that those who belong to the privileged castes of Brahminical hierarchical caste system are the super rich, and the backward classes are the bottom poor. Rich fund the political parties and government, so are the puppets of rich people and dance to their tunes. The policies of the government are dictated by the rich, as backward classes are poor, so they are voiceless. That is why even after 75 years of independence, we backward classes are still crying hoarse for our fundamental constitutional rights, but nobody cares. So the need of the hour is that we pull up backward classes from the black hole of poverty and make them wealthy. So how to pull them up? That is a $1 million question. So there are 3 doors to wealth. One is inheritance from the parents, which is not possible in the case of backward classes. Second is social capital. I mean, support from the family, from relatives, from caste, from community. That too is not possible for obvious reasons. Third is the bank loans. Even Adanis and Ambanis, they need bank loan to stay rich. But that is the irony, that 90% of bank loans are being dispersed to the privileged classes. The need of the hour is that we pressurize government to disperse at least 50% of the total amount of loan disbursed to these 80-90% of backward classes. Let us make our backward classes entrepreneur and wealthy, and social revolution will happen as a natural outcome of that. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Ratan Lal, Professor, Delhi University, to deliver his address.
P. Wilson, Justice Ishwaraya Sahab, Justice Virendra Singh Yadav Sahab, and other dignitaries for organizing such an important and great program and taking head on against the draconian BJP RSS regime, whose commitment is more to the Manusmriti than to the constitutional separate electorate for the deprived classes. But this tussle between untouchables and OBC never affected Ambedkar's ideas of Bhojan Hitay, Bhojan Sukhay. He always stood for the rights of OBC communities, and when he got the opportunity to frame the Constitution of India, first he made the provision for OBC reservation in Article 340. And we should also remember when Ambedkar resigned from the Nehru cabinet, and out of 4 reasons, one reason was non-implementation of OBC reservation or commission. At this juncture, we should remember that Ambedkar met Periyar twice, and Ambedkar favored the revival of non-Brahmin parties of Bombay and Madras provinces. We must now congratulate the Honorable Chief Minister Tamilnadu for combining the struggle of both Ambedkar and Periyar. I request Honorable CM Thiru MK Stalin and other OBC leaders to come forward and appeal their followers to stand up as the vanguard fighters against the atrocities on scheduled caste and scheduled tribes minorities by the caste Hindus, upper caste Hindus, and don't align with them in any way. We should recognize the support made by SC/ST OBC minorities, and they have always supported and fought for reservation of OBC, protection of their rights, and caste census. So once again, I request all of you, the dignitaries, to stand up as a crusader against the Brahmanical forces and protect the interest and dignity of SC, ST, OBCs, minorities, women, and all. And the Tamil Nadu model of social justice must be repeated at all India level. Thank you. Jai Bhim, Jai Periyar.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Dr. Suraj Mandal, Professor, Delhi University, to deliver his address.
ADMK Stalin Sahab, Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Thiru P. Wilson Sahab, who is the Honorable Member of Parliament, and Justice Ishwaraya, Justice Virendra Singh Yadav, and all the honorable guests, and the entire country, citizens of India who are listening to me. This country and its constitution are all being hit. They are being hit hard by the draconian regime of Bharatiya Janata Party. Our constitution is at peril. It is being attacked by a document called Manusmriti, which is the epitome of Brahmanism, which is the guiding document of Bharatiya Janata Party and RSS, by way of which all the interests of SC, ST, OBCs and minorities are being trampled every day. This country is put at being sold. All the corporates are looting the country, and the entire scenario is very grim. We only have hopes like Thiru MK Stalin, who is standing up against all these odds in a very difficult situation, fighting for the social justice, fighting for the rights of OBCs in form of implementing NEET, or also opposing EWS, which is...
Thank you, sir. I now invite Mr. Bahadur Singh Lodi, the Chief Organizer of Pichavarg Samyukt Sangharsh Morcha, Madhya Pradesh, to deliver his address.
कि भारत देश में संख्या कितनी है, इसलिए प्रति 10 वर्ष बाद भारत देश में जनगणना होती है। दुनिया का 9वां देश है भारत। भारत के 50% से अधिक जनगणकों से मांग करते रहे हैं। भारत की जनगणना में हमारी जनगणना हो। भारत की जनगणना में SC, ST सामान्य वर्ग की जनगणना होती है। मत पंथ के अनुसार हिंदू की गणना होती है, मुसलमान की गणना होती है, ईसाइयों की गणना होती है, परंतु ओबीसी की गणना नहीं होती। स्त्री पुरुषों की गिनती होती है, परंतु ओबीसी की गिनती नहीं होती। यहाँ तक कि हिजड़ों की गिनती होती है, परंतु ओबीसी की गिनती नहीं होती। हम ऐसा मानते हैं, हमारी हैसियत भारत में हिजड़ों से दी गई बीती है। इसलिए आप सभी से और भारत के समस्त न्याय प्रिय लोगों से हम सब निवेदन करते हैं कि जनगणना के लिए भारत सरकार पर दबाव बनाया जाए।
Thank you, sir. I now request Mr. Dilip Mandal, senior journalist, to deliver his address.
This meeting of Social Justice Forum. This meeting is happening at a very crucial juncture of history of nation, because at this moment of history, we need actually to blend growth and social justice. And without doing that, we will leave behind large swath of population who are not getting benefit of the policies and the nation building process. So as we have seen in some of the states, especially southern states, and I would like to name Tamilnadu and also to some extent Kerala, they have shown a way of the development model. And I call that model growth with capability approach, or what you call Dravidian model. That model takes into account that the population as a whole should be made capable. Their capacity has to be enhanced so that they become part of the development matrix. Otherwise, the middle class will not grow, and with that, the manufacturing sector and also to some extent services sector will not grow. So this model, this Dravidian model, propagated by DMK and being carried forward by Chief Minister MK Stalin, is a model which other states and union government should also follow. And it's very important that now this model is getting popularity, and it's becoming popular in the north also, because you can see that how